Over the past 2 months, I've talked to literally more real estate investors than I can count about where they're at in their business and how they got there. And I wanted to put together just kind of a quick 2-3 minute long video addressing the number one question that I get asked, which is, how do you get started in real estate investing? If you're a real estate investor, you probably get hit with this all the time as well. And it's really pretty straightforward. For me personally, my first step in getting started in real estate investing was believing that this whole method of making money was real. When I was initially introduced to real estate investing, this would have been 2013 or 14. I was making $24,000 a year pre-tax. Actually, I think it was less than that. I think it was like 23 was my last year. I was miserable, like drowning in debt. Newly married, my alarm clock went off and it was like a grumble instantly came out of me, right? And so the biggest hurdle for me initially, I thought, was going to be getting my wife on board. How do I prove to her that this is real? I remember on my first deal, that being a really big focal point for me of, I want to show her that this isn't a scam. This is something that we can potentially reach financial freedom out of. We can have the freedom to travel. We can drive nice cars. We can retire. Super humbling. We're in the car the other day and my wife just goes, I was like, hey, what's up? So I just realized our retirement's taken care of. I'm 25. She's 26. That's a super, super humbling place to be. And, when we started, it was, I want to be present. I want to be there for my kids. I want to make sure that I don't miss anything, right? That was our initial why of kind of why we started down this. So on my first deal, in the back of my head the entire time, I want to prove this to her. And now, years later, several million worth of buy and hold properties that we own. I remember bringing this up to her, in the very beginning, I was so concerned you didn't believe that this was real. She kind of laughs, and this is probably because she's a psychologist, but she goes, I believe this was real from the very beginning. I think it was more about you getting on board with the fact that this was real. So I fully believe that's why Rich Dad, Poor Dad has sold like 30 million copies, right? They addressed kind of that paradigm shift to you have to work for money to money can work for you. Comically, I just bought my 18-year-old brother a copy of the book 24 hours ago. And this morning he comes in and he goes, so what assets can I buy? Which is just great, right? That was my goal. So mission accomplished. Thank you, Robert Kiyosaki. That being said, what it didn't address is like, okay, cool. I believe this is real. I've seen it. What do I do next? So I'm going to be putting out some videos about kind of my initial steps, my first deals, more geared towards folks that are just starting out in this. A lot of my content is a little bit higher level, and I want to make sure we're not kind of leaving all of those folks behind. Because when I was just starting, if I stumbled on a YouTube or a Facebook or Instagram, like what mine currently is, I wouldn't have known what any of these acronyms meant. What is a BRRRR deal? What is an MAO? What is an ARV? So we are going to be rolling out some content more geared that direction. Don't worry, for those of you that are a little bit beyond that, we're still going to be posting the kind of stuff you normally see us post. But, I really believe that is the first step of deciding that this is real. That being said, full disclosure, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Yes, you can make a lot of money. We make a lot of money, but it's just like any other business. You have to track profits and losses. You have to manage expenses, keep your overhead low, have a marketing pipeline, focus on customer experience, have the right people in the right seats, right? So-and-so bought a Lambo 3 months in. Okay, cool. We'll see if he's here 3 months after that, right? So this really is about building a business, building a lifestyle that's more around investing as a whole than just kind of like quick cash. Totally blunt. My wife would be totally blunt if you asked her as well. 2016, I was a full-time real estate investor. We made no money, like none. 2017, we made a lot more. We only bought like 4 rentals that year, but we kept a little bit more. 2018, we made a lot more. We kept a lot more. 2019, so on and so forth. So my goal with this is really going to be to help shorten that learning curve for folks while also kind of outlining the path. Stick around. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.